Welcome to the Brookhaven Circle, a podcast to celebrate and explore the business community of Brookhaven Circle in Memphis, Tennessee. While Brookhaven Circle is known for its many restaurants, you'll find a lot more than good eating on the circle, where many service and retail entrepreneurs have set up shop. Don't forget to subscribe to the Brookhaven Circle on whatever platform you listen or watch your podcast on. Just search the Brookhaven Circle and hit that subscribe button. The Brookhaven Circle is sponsored by V2 Media. I'm Mark Thompson. Now let's meet the Brookhaven Circle business community. Welcome to the Brookhaven Circle, a podcast about the business community on Brookhaven Circle in Memphis, Tennessee. We're going to meet, engage, celebrate, and explore the many entrepreneurs who make up the Brookhaven Circle community. A caveat before we begin, I do a lot of interviews for our video business. I don't do a lot of interviews where I'm on camera. So please be patient and try not to be brutal with your comments. And thank you in advance for that. So today, we're here with Brad Greer. Brad's family has owned and run Bogie's Deli for many years. Brad, thank you for agreeing to come on today.
Thanks for having me.
We're excited. I'm a Bogie's regular every Tuesday morning with a book group. So anyone who wants to come Tuesday morning, 7:30, be there. You'll have a good time. And the breakfast biscuits are awesome.
Thanks, Mark. We know what you want.
That's right. I'll come in and order a few, bring a couple back to the office, and there's good stuff.
It's all homemade, from scratch. So it's made to order breakfast. So you can tell us what you want, or you can order something off the menu. We don't pre-make anything as far as, eggs or anything like that. So you can definitely get a fresh home-cooked breakfast.
Yeah, it's a real egg. It's not one of those egg patties.
Correct.
So, Brad, tell me a little bit about you and how you got into the restaurant business.
Sure. Well, the family, the Renfros, Robert and Beth Renfro, are the ones that really started it. They came from Virginia Beach, and they were friends of my ex-in-laws and started the Bogies at Poplar and Mendenhall, which took off immediately. He had the vision of bringing Boar's Head to Memphis, which no one had even heard of in this area, but they did have it in Virginia Beach, and he knew about it. So he brought it here. We trucked it in like every 2 weeks. The business got busy right off the bat. Of course, there wasn't probably, 50 to 60 restaurants like there are now in the area, within a 2-block radius. But he wanted to, I think, already had the vision of bringing the Boar's Head to Memphis and started the Deli. Once it got real busy, he asked me to come on. I was just working at FedEx like everybody else did, growing up in my generation. And still, I think a lot of people do. But I just kind of got busier and busier, and then they needed a manager, and it was basically, come on and work for a few years, and, eventually it'll be yours. And that's kind of how that took place. And, the interesting story about that is that we would truck our meat in like every 2 weeks, and it would come by, it's a semi truck. We'd have to unload it and stuff like that. There was no Boar's Head trucks or anything like that. Later on, we had to start flying it, and I would have to go to the airport and pick it up in the cargo area. So probably for about the first 5 or 6 years, Bogie's on Mendenhall was the only place that you could get Boar's Head meats and cheeses. So we, as the business continued to grow, Robert and Beth decided to open a second location since I was going to take over that one. And they started the Midtown store, which was over to the square in front of where the movie theater is. That building no longer exists. Yeah. It was tore down within the past year or so recently. And my sister would go on later to buy that business and run it. But when Cecil's was still here, once he sold the 2 delis, Boar's Head basically would not let you own a store and a distributorship. So he wanted to open up his own distributorship. So as he did, he had to get rid of the stores and to my family, basically. He went into Cecil's. I think the first one was over, the first Cecil's we went into, or maybe it was right there at Truce Parkway. Well, when Cecil's got bought out by Schnucks didn't pick it back up. So Schnucks didn't want to carry Boar's Head, so therefore that's when he started going to Kroger. Yeah. And you'll see it in a lot of Krogers now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of an interesting fact that Bogie's was the one that basically brought Boar's Head to Memphis. And that's what I tell people, kind of a fun story about that.
Which is, a premium when it comes to meat and cheese.
I would say, yeah, it's pretty much top of the line.
Yeah.
Of course, you pay top of the line too for it. We've never changed, in 33 years, we've never changed anything but Boar's Head. Yeah. That's all we carried because that's what we were built on. That's what we were known for. And I kind of have that, management style, that kind of thing is once you build something, don't change it. Yeah. So
if it's working,
that's right.
Don't change it.
That's right. That's right.
So that entrepreneurial spirit a little bit, that came from way back then.
Yeah.
And talk about now, you were telling me it still is very much a family business.
Right. I got 2 kids that work with me. I got a mother and father that both worked with me at some time. They're pretty much retired, but they still help with some baking. My mom does some baking. If you'll find some nice sweets there that she does, homemade desserts and stuff like that. There again, we try to put, our niche on a little bit of everything that you can't get anywhere else by making it homemade, by making it from scratch, and it may taste a little bit different, here and there, but that's because, that's just, we make it.
It's homemade.
It's homemade. That's right.
Now, I've picked up a cake or two from y'all that are, available sometimes. And man, that's just some good stuff. And again, that's not something you're going to find in many restaurants.
Right. Well, the cakes is another interesting story, how that happened. So there's a group of folks from New Albany, Mississippi, and it was a small little barbecue shack, like in the middle of a soybean field. If you've ever been to New Albany to see it. And it was a small little shack, and it was just a mom and pop basically coming here to say, basically, we want to sell our cakes to you and to you only, which basically was a handshake kind of deal.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know how many years that's been, but it's been probably close to 20 years ago, at least, maybe 25, that we started carrying those cakes. And the same thing we've always carried is Westside barbecue cakes. Now we've had to outsource for a different couple. We got a lady that makes our red velvet and a coconut cake. Just because they weren't making them, or we didn't like the ones they had. So, but there again, we're going to give you a good product no matter what.
Yeah.
So the Westside barbecue cakes have always been a big hit.
Yeah.
At our place.
They've been a big hit at our place. My wife's favorite word, cake.
It's a lot of people's favorite word around there. Yeah.
Well, and so we'll get into your regular menu here in a minute, but you guys do have some things that are just different than, you walk in and there's some fresh produce. There's a couple of cases of things that you just don't find in other restaurants.
Yeah, what we're trying to do now is getting, especially like during COVID or, during holidays or anything like that. And I'm trying to get some pre-made stuff where if you're in a hurry, you can grab something real quick, just something to pick up and go if you don't have time to wait. We're pretty quick anyway, but, if some people that are just in a super big hurry can grab something out of those cases, please check those out when you come. There'll be a couple of display cases with pre-made sandwiches, salads, sides, and that kind of thing already made up, which are, gradually catching on and working out better. But the whole thing, definitely when it's busy with grocery stores and stuff like that, I try to tell people, I said, ask me, I'll sell you whatever I have. I have bread, milk, produce, whatever, I try to set what I can out so people can sell it because I don't know, people still ask me today, like they'll come in and go, so I can get a pound of turkey? I'm like, Of course.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. That.
Don't you really want a pound and a half?
Right. But, I guess people just don't realize that they think of it more of a food restaurant rather than a place where you can do both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get what you need from like a grocery and sit down and have a meal as well.
Save a trip.
One
stop.
Look, I do a lot of grocery shopping. And I know how it is, and I would much rather you buy it from me and save you get it all at one place.
Yeah. And I've noticed your takeout business. So we come in for that 7:30 breakfast on Tuesdays, and you've got a constant stream of folks that are coming in and taking out. You do a lot of carry out.
We do a lot of carry out. Also, we don't prefer to use this, but if you need something delivered, we do a lot of the Uber Eats and Grubhub and stuff like that for people that can't get away to come see us. I think that, and I would like to say to people out there that if you're able to use for a local business and able to pick up your food, do that rather than using those services, just because most of the time it's anywhere from 20 to 30% that they charge the merchant. That it's just a ridiculous fee. However, on the positive side of that is I believe that that's how we survived. I know it is COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, using food services, DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber, stuff like that, we do them all. We got people running in constantly picking up food. But there again is, it costs us a nice chunk, but we would rather service you one way or the other. And if you can't come see us, then please feel free to use those services too.
Yeah.
We also just started an online not too long ago. It's been about 6 months now. It's called Chow Now through your website that you can order, which is also a nice feature. And please, when you get there, don't get in the line if you've already paid for it in Chow Now. People get caught in the back of the line, and they've already just got to walk up and tell us your name. You've already paid for it, and we'll get you out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll to speak on your service, Josh is great. That's who we usually see on, in the morning, and it serves with a smile, and he knows what I want.
Yeah.
He says, how many do you need? It's just, your team does a great job with that.
They have a great team. Like I said, 2 of them are my kids, and the other one, everybody else has been with us for quite a while. I try to teach an old school work ethic, so we don't have a lot of employees for that reason, probably. But the ones we do have, are hustlers. So we can get the job done with what the crew we have most of the time.
Yeah.
If the consumers would be a little bit more consistent, we would be able to plan a little bit better, but we'll take what we can get.
Take what you can get, because the restaurant business is kind of crazy like that.
That's correct.
And you've got to have a passion for that business to be in it.
Yeah, you do. It's not as bad now, but growing up, I missed a lot of my kids growing up trying to get that business up and going and running that business. So it was 14, 15 hours a day, 6 days a week. Fortunately now, because I have kids that are old enough to take over, when we're not busy or not busy times, I don't have to be there. So, I'm down to an 8-hour regular day, which is nice because I don't think I could pull off those 15-hour days anymore, But that's what it takes, It takes stuff like that people don't realize, that you think you're going to come in and open a restaurant and work, 5 or 6 hours. That's not what it is. Mm-mm. And it's not over when you go home. People may think that I'm done when or going, to play or whatever, but it's not. It's never over. There's stuff constantly going through your head. You got to go pick up this, pay this, bills, whatever.
Not to mention one of my favorite Monsters Inc. line. I know you're going to do your paperwork. There's always paperwork.
Right. Well, fortunately, I have a lot of help on that end, so that's not my forte anyway. I like to be more with, helping get the food made and, servicing the customers.
Well, and it being at least a partially open kitchen, you see the hustle back there. You guys are moving.
Yeah. And I think that's why everybody's kind of patient with us too. If there is a big line or something like that, it's not like we have somebody standing around, No. So it's, we're moving and going, or everybody's doing it. And that's what I said. We have a great crew that understands everybody's role. And, I tell them right from the get-go, if you start there, I'm like, you're going to do everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to learn how to do everything. Because we may need you here, we may need you there. And most people that we get that stay on with us are can understand where to jump in and where to fill in.
Yeah.
And that's not really common these days, you know?
Yeah. But that's what it takes. And I can tell you, having been there, those guys behind the guys and girls are back there hustling.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no slow motion going on.
Well, we basically have a 2-hour window that we have to make our numbers. We have to make it happen. You know, everybody wants to eat, at a certain time within that time frame. So we are basically getting there at 6 a.m, gearing up for that moment, pretty much, of a 2.5 hour span that we have to make it happen.
Yeah.
I tell all the people that work, I said, and this is true. I don't like that it's true, but it will happen. And I guarantee you that I've done it, that you've done it, and everybody else has done it too. I tell them, I said, you have a good experience here, you're going to tell your buddy. You have a bad experience here, you're going to tell 10 buddies. Yeah. And I don't know why it is that way. And somebody posted something on Facebook and it made me go, yeah. It's just like all the negative stuff you hear about stuff. And then when somebody posts something positive, it's really refreshing to hear it, whether it's with us or anybody else.
Share it. It's a good experience that they're doing a good job. And you're right. People are much more likely to share negative than positive.
I don't know why that is, but
I don't either. Right. But more on the positive side, okay, the best potato salad in Memphis.
Okay, the potato salad, and on the potato salad side, it's just a red skin potato salad. It's fairly simple. There again, it's a little bit different. Most traditional, potato salads are a mustard or something like that, and ours is a mayonnaise. People ask me for the recipe and I'm like, you can figure it out basically by looking at it. But, and when they ask me for recipes and stuff like that they try to change something. I'm like, well, if you don't put this exactly what I told you, it's not going to taste the same.
Imagine that.
Like the kind of mayonnaise,
Yeah.
But now pasta salad is probably our most popular item that we have out of everything at Bogie's. I will be at so many different events, so many different functions or something like that. And people that know Bogie's, the first thing they say to me, I love the pasta salad. I love the pasta salad. Yeah. The recipe's been in the commercial appeal. We've done different things at the zoo rendezvous and stuff like that, where we just set out pasta and it went out like crazy,
right. But that is good too.
It's funny that I've seen kids grow up. I mean, I'm probably telling my age a little bit, but little young kids, when they started coming to Bogie's, that are now parents and have their own kids, and they still talk about, we used to get turkey sandwich and pasta salad, which is probably our go-to most popular thing that most people order. Is our turkey breast deluxe and our pasta salad. Yeah. I don't know. It's good. I love it, but
it's tough.
I don't know why. That's just, those two things are our most popular ones.
Yeah. I'm an East Coast rap guy myself.
East Coast rap, kind of on the healthy side there.
It's good stuff though.
Yeah. We can be on the healthy side, we can be on the hearty side, or we can be on the unhealthy side, whatever you want.
You want cake for lunch? You can have cake.
Yeah, right.
So if somebody asks you, what's the one thing that you'd want to tell somebody about Bogie's as a restaurant and business?
I think we touched on it a little bit already, and that, that it's a family business, that, we're hustlers. We generally take pride in knowing what you want for breakfast, getting it ready, having it ready, your name, greeting you. I don't think that, you're going to walk up to a restaurant or, it happens to me all the time. I go to a restaurant and somebody walks to the counter and just stares at you. Yeah. That's not going to happen. Ours are more of a, I think Chick-fil-A put a template out there for people to follow. Not that we weren't doing it way before that, but just the greeting of, how are you today? What can I do for you? Yeah. I mean, you are basically paying my salary. And I just think that people today, that employees don't realize that, and that, that's what makes us have a job every day, is these people. So you need to treat them like that. And, greeting them is the first thing is, when you walk in that door, we want to greet you. We want to make sure we recognize that you're there and that we're going to get you taken care of as soon as we can.
Yeah. A smile and a greeting.
Well, I don't know about the smile every
way.
time. I don't know about the smile every time. Sometimes we get a little busy and stressed and people are like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, we're just busy. I'm not.
I'm good. Just going.
Right. So it is, that I guess that would be the hardest part, I think, sometimes is putting on a smile every day, even when things aren't going well.
Yeah.
You know, and I would be my own critic and say that I don't do that enough. And it's not that I'm not talking to you, Mark, you know, and saying, hey, how you doing today? But there may not be that smile there just because of behind the scenes things that are going on that are keeping me from that.
You know, Brad, I would say when I see you, you often look like you're in the zone.
Well, that's what I guess you could say that. Yeah, the work zone is overpowers me sometimes. I guess that
Focused.
I'm focused. That's the right word right there. I'm not smiling because I'm focused.
Focused. You know, you already kind of told us some of the backstories and things. Is there anything that you would pull out and go, man, this is just the craziest thing that ever happened, or just the funniest?
Well, there is an incident, and I don't know if I should probably tell on this, but I'm going to anyway, because as we were winding down our few years, people that don't know, we were in Brookhaven, Mendenhall for across the street from the half shell there for 30 years. And the Boyle investment decided that they wanted to tear that whole section down. Well, our building was old. It definitely was. People would come in and tell me about all these stores or grocery stores that had been and how they used to come there when it was old delis and stuff like that. And you could tell because we had one of those shotgun long cooler things that had all the, I don't know, I think we had like 17 doors on that thing or something like that, which was nice to have a cooler like that. But you could tell it was one of the older, you know. So we had the little panel the panels for the ceiling, and I think it was maybe the last year we had gotten a squirrel problem up there. So in the middle of lunch, we had a lot of the East Precinct police guys come and eat lunch with us, and got to know a lot of them. And we were sitting there one day in the middle of lunch, and a squirrel pops out of the ceiling and lands in the middle of the restaurant and is running around. And one of my buddies that's a police officer, he takes his body cam and was like, what do you do when the squirrel pops out of the ceiling at lunch? You film it. And he's like walking around filming it, and then, you know, not trying to help me at all. But
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
How about some squirrel stew? Anyone?
So we were kind of sad to leave that building. We didn't want to, but, you know, it definitely needed to happen, you know, remodel. And we would like to have been back there, but we couldn't take the downtime. So we're happy where we're at Brookhaven Circle. We love it over here. We know it's a destination place that a lot of people aren't driving by, but we would love for you to come see us. You know,
I was just going to say, if you haven't been to the new location, and you have a great dining room, patio out front. When it gets a little cooler, maybe wait till September, October for that.
Yep.
But it's just a great setup.
Yeah, we rent the building out for private events as well, with or without food. So that's, you know, call me if you have any of that.
Yeah.
Need anything for that. I mean, the kitchen setup is nice. So the restaurant's, you know, is I think is kind of unique in its own way. We have some local artists that have paintings in there. You know, there again, we're all about the local business and support local too.
Yeah, which is why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah,
to support local business,
and we appreciate
support the Brookhaven Circle community. So, anything new on the horizon for Bogies? I mean, you said you don't want don't change what's working, but
right. We haven't changed the menu a lot, you know, and we're trying to keep from doing any kind of price increases as our, you know, all our supplies and meats and cheeses and styrofoam, blah blah blah, keep going up and up and up. You know, I myself am not going to get rich doing this business. I'm going to make a decent living, but I'm not going to, you know, price gouge people where we try to maintain something that so we can survive, but it's still outrageous. You know, I mean, just the stuff that, and I don't see how a lot of people, and, you know, I don't want to touch base too much on it, but, you know, are closing, businesses that are closed because of the cost of goods.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just necessarily the lack of business, but it's also the cost of supplies.
Yeah.
You know,
transportation has gone up, your delivery stuff.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what makes it a little bit harder. But yeah, we're trying not to up any more prices for a while. I think we haven't done anything in like 2 years. So, there again, we carry boar's head meats and cheeses. So you're going to pay a little bit more.
But it's going to be good stuff.
It's going to be good stuff. It better be good stuff.
I can tell you, if you're looking for a good breakfast or a good lunch for dine in or take out, you can't go wrong with going to Bogie's.
Our catering too, for any events, we cater any events, any sizes, anything like that. We do have our own delivery service that we use. Try to give us a day's notice on that. Anything else special? I mean, we've tried to do a little breakfast tacos, something we don't have on the menu yet. We're just kind of experimenting with that. You can get creative with that if you want to, or we have picked out like 4 or 5 that we like to make, just as something simple and quick that you can grab, a little bit different,
Did you notice how Joey perked up when you said breakfast tacos? I saw his head shake. He's like, oh. So if you give us your website and your street address. So for anybody who doesn't know where Bogie's is, where do we find you?
So we're at 703 West Brookhaven Circle. Our number is 901-761-5846. And our website is bogiesdelimemphis.com. So please call us for, like I said, delivery, catering, any meetings, anything you need. If you can't, if we can't deliver it, you have the option of different services. Our website to pick up, something that you can already have paid for, so you don't have to wait in line. Prepackaged food. We're trying to be, make it as convenient as possible for the consumer that we can, and still give a fresh, good product.
And it's good stuff.
Thank you, sir.
So if you like this podcast, it'll find it with wherever your favorite podcast is, on Apple, on Spotify, The Brookhaven Circle. Look it up. We're on YouTube as well. And subscribe. Send us any of your comments. And we look forward to our next session. Brad, thank you.
Appreciate
you coming on.
Appreciate it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks for joining us on the Brookhaven Circle. Please subscribe to our podcast and send us any questions or comments you have. The Brookhaven Circle is produced by V2 Media, a part of the business community on Brookhaven Circle.